You're listening to Real Talk Texas with local expert Steve Hakes. Now, here's Steve.
Welcome back to Real Talk Texas. I'm your host, Steve Hakes. And in the studio today, we've got some real experts in the real estate business, and they're here to talk about what's happening in North Texas, especially in the Mid-Cities area. It's Laurie and Larry Wall of the Wall team, Remax Heritage, in the Mid-Cities area. Their office is located in Colleyville, and they also have presence all over the Mid-Cities there. And they've got a great team of people that are working, some specialists. They have buyer's agents. They have listing agents, so they kind of break it down to whatever your need is there. We're going to talk. I'm really curious because when you get people in the studio, when I get people in the studio, and they've been named, the best of the best in that area for 3 years. I mean, that's a pretty high accolade. Also, D Magazine's top producing agents. There is a secret to that. I mean, if you pull up a roster of how many agents there are in North Texas, it'll blow your mind. To me, the number of people that are in it. There are a lot of people that are in it part-time. There are some people that I call the real professionals that are really focused on building a business. And obviously you guys have done that. And I'm just curious, and I think our listeners will be curious, how you built your business.
Well, we had some really good teachers that taught us the business principles and the principles of leverage and the principles of systems and the principles of doing things with excellence. But we do want to share that when Larry and I started the team, we really wanted to know what's the heart of what we're doing, what behind what we do, and we do have a heart behind what we do. It's not just for money and for business. And we prayed about a mission statement, and we did come up with one, and it lives in our business, and every one of our team members embraces it, and it keeps us on the straight and narrow in how we treat our clients. But it's to serve the real estate needs of the people God brings across our path with a servant's heart, valuing the relationship with the client over the transaction, and then trusting in God for the end result to be His purpose. And so it really keeps us grounded when we have conflict or misunderstandings or issues, stress, is it put the client first with a servant's heart, trust in the end result to be God's purpose. And so we go back to that a lot, because in real estate, it's a highly emotional business. It's a highly emotional thing for our customers. It's a very emotional time for them. And so we want them to feel cared for, and that we really do care about their best interest. And so that's the foundation of what we do. It truly, truly is.
And because real estate is a highly transactional thing to do day in and day out, there's got to be more to it than just one transaction and then raise your hand and say, where's the next one coming from? So we decided early on that we needed to be under the tutelage of great teachers. And then after we got some great teaching, we decided that coaching was the next step to show us what the path looked like ahead, because we had no idea what the path looked like ahead to build a team of people. And how would that team of people become unified for one purpose?
And I think most people, when they're in a situation where they want to grow a business, or they want to grow a team and a family business kind of a thing. I mean, I've always gravitated to, the people I work with, building people that are not just employees, that they're part of the family, and we're all working toward the same purpose, like you're talking about. It's hard, I think, for people that have never done it before, to really have a picture in their mind. This is what it looks like when we get there. I think it's so important to really have a true vision. And it sounds like you've had some coaching that's helped you get that. And so if you see where it's going, then it's a matter of walking down that path, right?
Definitely is. And then we have great people on our team. Like I said before, we're very selective. We have excellent team members. They all have systematic way of doing things, which is about treating the customer right, creating the low amount of stress during the transaction for the client, and very hands-on. And everyone is a specialist. So we don't have everybody doing everything. We have a closing manager who specializes in only handling the details of the closing. We have a listing manager who only handles the details of inputting the listing on multiple websites and creating all the marketing materials. We have a marketing specialist who handles all of our social media and video, and they're all very good.
Well, and I heard also you guys have an app or something like that. You might want to talk about the technology side, because we talk about a lot on the show here. The people that are today, it's changing. The idea that you have to have a flyer outside of a house today is kind of passe. I mean, it's just, people don't really go pull the flyers anymore. They're going to go on their smartphone and pull things out.
We do have an app for any of our customers who want to use that to do their searches, and our website is mobile friendly, and so they can pull up in front of any of our listings and go right to the internet site.
Show all the pictures.
The pictures. We do professional photography on our listings and 25 photos, virtual tours. We do the works on our listings as far as marketing goes.
We had another guest on the show last week and talked about the number of MLS. There's a limit to how many photos you have on MLS. I think it was 25.
It's 25.
And I was telling him last week, I was telling Jeremy Wages of the Rhodes team and Keller Williams, I was telling him, Dana and I, when we pull out in front of a house, because we're starting to look around, so we pull up in front of a house, and it was amazing to me how many agents only put 1 or 2 photos in there, and it's like, okay, let's go on to the next house where we can really, without going in with an appointment, we're just kind of kicking tires. It's where I start. I think that's where a lot of people start. Yeah, I think that's so important that you have that photographer to come in and to maximize the photos, because that really helps.
It makes all the difference.
And I bet that's what you're telling people when you're doing the listing. I mean, what's the secret sauce of doing a lot of listings? And I guess the other question I have for you is, because you do it well, are you getting referrals from past clients?
Oh, yes. Now, on our listings, we feel like preparation is more important than getting the house on the market quickly. It's way more important to prepare the home to show its very, very best, and in the pictures very best from day one. So we have a full team of vendors that we supply to our sellers. We have a professional staging company that we bring out first. We have painters, handyman, flooring companies, and we help them. We do. We assist them in getting the home completely prepared so it looks like a model home as much as it possibly can. That's what helps our listing sell for top dollar and very quickly.
And not only is that important because the sellers now want the highest price. Obviously, the product has to look fantastic for someone to want to pay the highest price. It was also important 2 and 3 years ago when there was a lack of buyers in the market.
Right.
Because they were only being snatched up on the greatest properties. So we had to make them look great.
And because you do that, are you seeing multiple offers come in on your listings?
Yes, definitely are. We had one listing that we got put on the market Friday at 4 o'clock. We had 13 offers by Sunday.
And where was that located?
This was it was in Louisville, which is not our backyard, but it was a referral from our church. And then we took another listing the next weekend in Grapevine. Both of these were like 175 to 200 price range. Same thing. We had 5 offers. In fact, you did the loan.
Yeah. Okay.
on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. And the agents running in with offers. And, not every home that we have is selling with multiple offers, but pretty much anything below $300,000 is gone.
It's kind of amazing to me. And Dana and I moved through the years. So, of course, we hadn't moved in a long time. But, in the 90s, when we moved a lot with corporate moves, I don't remember any listing agent ever talking to me about staging my house, sending in a handyman to fix anything, or doing an inspection of my house. It was just they came in, they put my house on MLS. That's all they did for me. Didn't even run an ad, no open houses, anything. It just seems like that you guys do something a lot bigger than I think a lot of the agents did. I don't know. I don't know that every agency's doing what you're doing.
Well, I think that's called specialization again. And not only do we specialize on the listing side, but we try to specialize on the buyer agent side as well. Right now, it's really important for our buyer agents to be out there and scanning what's becoming available now. Because if they got a client and they can identify what's coming on the market now, then they've got to be first in line to show their client.
Well, if say I'm a buyer and I go to your team and I get with one of your buyer's agents and I'm preparing to buy. Okay, first thing you're going to do is probably send them to me for a pre-qualification to make sure we get them We'll talk about that in the next segment, the difference between pre-qualification, pre-approval. There's a big difference. But first thing you're going to do is get them pre-qualified. But tell me what the experience you go through as a buyer with your team. Do your agents go through like a questionnaire or something? How do they hone in on what's going to be right house for me?
We try to have them come into the office. And, time is for a consultation. And time is always the most scarce commodity. But a lot of people are willing to come in and consult with the buyer agent. And we have a big screen TV. They can have a look at the pictures of some of the homes online so that the buyer agent can get in the mind of the buyer as to what it is they're looking for, or they say they're looking for.
A virtual tour of what's on the market today,
Absolutely.
right in your office.
Correct.
Wow.
And the buyer specialists have already previewed all the listings that have come up in the marketplace, because that's one of the standards of being a buyer specialist on our team, is that they've seen all the new listings. And we hold open houses 3 weekends a month as a team. And we try to serve our sellers that way so that we can market and showcase their homes in a big way on a Sunday afternoon.
One thing that our buyer agents are doing right now is they're checking the new MLS listings hourly. They are seriously, every hour they're back on there, because that's how quick these homes are going.
And they have their buyers kind of targeted into what?
Right. They've got searches already set up. So they'll go do like Joe Smith search, click what's new. Is anything new up for them within the last hour?
Wow. And it's so important to get the offer in front. We're going to talk about after this segment how, as a buyer, how your offer is looked at by the listing agent and the seller, and some of the tricks of the trade to make sure that you're the one they choose to say yes to. Mm-hmm. And that's so important right now, especially with the lack of inventory, and that we got to have, a really good offer, and it's got to be backed with a really good bank that says you're good to go. And we're going to talk about that and how you really drill down and how you advise your clients that are sellers, how you advise people that are buyers to make the right offer. So stay tuned. You're listening to Real Talk Texas. Today in the studio, we've got Larry and Laurie Wall of the Wall team of RE/MAX in the Mid-Cities. And we're going to talk about those secrets about how to make sure that you get the house of your dreams.